What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Off the Bench. I am your host, Corey. That is Scotty. And partner, how you feeling on Tuesday?
Oh, brother, it's a good day to have a good day. It's a good day to talk football. The draft is 2 days away, y'all. We're gonna have some big news this coming weekend.
Absolutely.
Trust and believe.
Absolutely. Partner, you know, I'm energized. You're energized. You excited? I'm excited for the draft. You're excited for the draft.
Yes.
It's gonna be a
You know,
late. It's gonna
guys,
be a late night.
you
So
guys know how you should get ready for the draft.
look, it's gonna be a late night and an early morning. So not only will I have the the famous Aspire energy drinks that we love to talk about on this show, but the following day after the late night for the Friday, I will also have an Aspire energy that day as well. Uh, Lovely stuff, good stuff. Um, Green tea, guarana, all natural caffeine, 80 milligrams, half of the leading competitor. It is keto friendly, diabetes friendly, no sugar, no calories, no jitters, no crash. Vitamins B and C, great stuff, good for you. Um, but partner, I gotta tell you, what is there's only one thing I can think of on my mind that is better than that, and that is the upcoming NFL draft. And partner, we're gonna go over what this looks like for the listeners. Now, this is the final mock draft. It has been sent in today at 4 p.m. It is currently um, at this very moment of recording. It is for me 5:17 p.m. And 4:17 for the partner. So this is new, and this comes from ESPN. So this is their final mock draft before Thursday's draft, which we will be covering live. So tune in on YouTube, on Kick,
Yes,
on
we will
uh,
be live streaming on Kick.
on on those two things. We'll be live streaming that and going over, giving you our reaction of the NFL draft as it comes to fruition. So, partner, let's break down this full mock draft. The first round is all we're going to be covering. So, um, partner, let's walk through it. First
Sure,
pick,
sure.
first pick in the NFL draft, which is no surprise to anyone, and we just talked about how big of a surprise it would be if the Las Vegas Raiders did not pick Fernando Mendoza. But in this last mock draft, they do that. Partner, any surprises here?
No. Real quick note though, this comes from ESPN's NFL Nation beat writers for each team. So this is not one person. This is a collective of who the NFL's beat writers believe will be the draft picks.
Yes. And partner, real quick, what is a beat writer?
It's just someone who takes up the lead on writing for these particular teams for NFL Nation and ESPN. That's basically what it is. They're on the beat, as they used to say in the times of magazines and newspapers.
All right, absolutely, absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know that, there it is. The second pick in the NFL draft, David Bailey, edge out of Texas Tech, and the Jets spent most of their free agency money on their defense, but they still need a dynamic presence in the front seven. Bailey had 14 and a half sacks last season in college football, and he can be that player. So,
He can, and he will wherever he lands. And in this case, with the New York Jets, no surprise here. Um, David Bailey is probably the third most talented on my big board for this draft. So no surprise here.
absolutely, partner. Let's cattywampus here. I do one, you do one, and we'll that way we're kind of sharing the load a little bit. Not
Sure.
no one's getting tired of my voice over there. on the other end of this thing.
Yeah, for sure, brother, for sure. The Arizona Cardinals at pick number 3, according to Josh Winefood, will be selecting Marvel Reese out of Ohio State, which makes a lot of sense. Really, really add some pressure on that defense. Buda Baker, Mac Wilson, obviously they're holding things down. Calais Campbell, I don't believe has landed with the team, so you start adding young pieces, and Marvel Reese's dynamic. It makes a lot of sense to me. How does he sound to you at number 3 for the Cardinals?
Makes a lot of sense, and we talked about this before that we do have Ty Simpson coming up in the draft, and while he is a great prospect for the NFL, I don't think that the Arizona Cardinals are going to reach at number 3 for him. So, with that being considered, Josh Weinfuss obviously says, you know what, we think Arvel Reese will make the most sense um, as an outside looking in perspective. So, I absolutely agree. Uh, but not as much as I agree with this next pick. Tennessee Titans picking up Sonny Styles, and he has been most compared to Fred Warner, who has become one of the league's top defensive players. Now, will he become the next Fred Warner? We will see. The only little tidbit that I would have is that the only thing that makes more sense than this for me would be if they took Jeremiah Love. We talked about that plenty of times on this show that Jeremiah Love fits that scheme and everything they have going on right now so much better, personally.
Right. No, I agree with the Sonny Styles pick. I agree with the option of Jeremiah Love. Those are the only two pieces that I did not see them truly address in this year's free agency when they threw bags at everyone who was willing to listen to the front office. A lot of people like Robert Sala. A lot of people love a coach who coaches the men, not just the team. And Sonny Styles would be joining a premium defense at a premium position, like you said, Fred Warner's ascension under defensive coordinator Robert Sala. Don't forget about that. Makes a lot of sense to me. You could argue Jeremiah Love. It's to me, it's a coin. It's a coin flip. You either get Love and improve the offense drastically, or you get Sonny Styles and improve the defense drastically.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Without a doubt, too, because both of those guys are just massive playmakers. Um, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's my that's my tidbit on it.
for sure, for sure. And speaking of Jeremiah Love, Jordan Rannon has the New York Giants selecting Jeremiah Love at 5. I think this would be earth shattering for the New York Giants. That would be it's already a mean running back room with Cam Scadaboo and Tyrone Tracy. Jeremiah Love is a bigger playmaker than both. He can bury both of those guys on the depth chart. It makes a lot of sense. I don't love this move. As a pure football fan, I would love this move. As a fan of the Washington Commanders, as has been noted 1,005,000 times, there you guys see it.
Absolutely.
I don't love this move. It's a good move for the New York Giants organization, and he would thrive under Coach John Harbaugh. It would make a lot of sense.
Absolutely. And like you said, as a Commanders fan, just please no. Can we just take their pick away and just sorry, not this year or any year ever again? Um, but yeah, absolutely, it makes a lot of sense to me. Um, now, it's a little bit of a coin toss here as well for me. I think that whoever the Tennessee Titans don't pick end up going to the Giants. I think if the roles are flipped and the Titans took Jeremiah Love, I think Sonny Styles does go to the New York Giants. Um, so again, another coin toss. But and we talked about this before the show, and I'm gonna screw his name up again. But Francis McGoy, um, I messed that up again. is
We're
Cleveland
sorry, big friend.
Browns. Um, Cleveland Browns offensive tackle that they're going to draft at number 6 per this final mock draft, and I love it. You have to protect the quarterback. We've said that 100 times on this show. The quarterback is the key piece to a team, um, and especially with them not really knowing who's their starter or what direction to go in. What better chance for you to find out who is your best quarterback than give him an offensive line that can keep him safe? Love this idea. Love this pick. What do you think?
I like this pick. Haven't really had a true left tackle in that organization since Joe Thomas retired. So you like to see them go out and get a guy like Frankie Malangoa who can absolutely bully people around. He is the best offensive lineman in this draft, and he will go in the top 10. If he does not go to the Browns, then they're missing out. Now, obviously, they can add receiver here. A lot of people have Carnell Tate here. Some people have Jordan Tyson here. But Francis Malagoa makes the most sense to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Uh, Partner, this one we just talked about as well, and I have to say, uh, different perspectives for both of us. I'll go ahead and give mine, and then you tell me what you think. So the Washington Commanders at number 7 are going to pick Mansour Delane per John Kime, sorry. Um, and that he's quarterback out of LSU, probably the best cornerback coming out of this draft, bar none. Um, and I don't like it. I don't like us grabbing Mansour Delane. And that's just because I'm a Caleb Downs guy. According to this mock draft, they have Caleb Downs is still here. Um, they have the just scrolling down a little. He does go at number 10 to the New York Giants again, but my biggest thing here is why not take Downs as as this at this pick instead of letting him fall. Um, I mean the next two picks don't grab him either, so I'm going to say that I don't like this pick. I would prefer us grab Caleb Downs, especially as he is available. Ruben Bain Jr. is also available, so I mean just two guys there that obviously would fit well. Now we did get uh, off uh, the edge rusher Afe Adoe. We did get him, but I think that having Ruben Bain Jr. on the other side would also be great. But I don't know. What do you think, partner?
For me, there is zero wrong answer at this particular pick. Wide receiver, running back, cornerback, safety, linebacker. If there's a guy there who is high on their board, they can take him. In this particular instance, with John Kime picking Mansour Delane, I'm gonna throw a little bit of purple and yellow pride out there. I'm gonna show some love to our Bayou Bengals down here in Louisiana and say that Mansour Delane is the best cornerback in this draft. He instantly starts on this Washington defense. He starts across from Trey Amos. They are CB 1A and 1B. That is exactly how it would be. You can interchange those guys. The depth chart gets a little muddy after that if they do, in fact, take Mansour Delane. Who knows? Um, Maybe the front office, in John Kime's eyes, sees a lot of growth and promise in Quan Martin. Maybe they see Will Harris on the other side of the defense from Nick Cross. Who knows? I like this pick, but I will back you in saying that Caleb Downs is the best fit if he is in fact available at 7. But Mansour Delane also instantly makes an impact on this defense, and you cannot hate the pick if you understand kind of scheme that we are led to believe new defensive coordinator Durante Jones will run, would give him a lot of flexibility. He is super versatile. He can play man, he can play zone, he can play press, he can play off. He can do it all, and he does it all at a high level. He played against SEC wide receivers for the past 3 years and blew the top off. So this is not a wrong pick. I am of the same mind. I think if Caleb Downs is there, take Caleb Downs.
Absolutely.
Above Carnell Tate, above Rueben Bain Jr. Rueben Bain forces someone out on that defense. Now, if in first, if it does in fact end up being Rueben Bain Jr., expect to see someone traded. We don't know, but I don't see them with the additions, especially at the defensive line. I don't see them taking Rueben Bain Jr., Mansour Delane, or Caleb Downs. So I agree with the pick.
Absolutely, absolutely. And before we get to the next few picks, I just want to let everyone know. I don't remember if we talked about it or not, but the Cincinnati Bengals did grab New York Giants Dexter Lawrence, and we talked about him a little bit a couple episodes ago, and I was confused as to where they got that number 10 pick. I figured it out. So they had traded them a let me find it here, but basically they picked him up, and somewhere along the line they have received uh, the Bengals get Dexter Lawrence, and the Giants get that first round pick 10 uh, slot. So amazing. Actually, I think it was a straight up trade. Here it is. The Bengals trade straight up for the number 10 selection, and they get the All-Pro defensive tackle. Signed a 1-year, $28 million extension on top of his contract he already has. So that's how we get that. But now we will continue. I hate that they have 2 picks in the top 10. So yeah. Anyhow, moving on. Partner, who's next?
So, for our keeping it down here in Louisiana, for our New Orleans Saints fans, Catherine Terrell has New Orleans Saints picking Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate, and this makes a lot of sense. Really does. No Rashid Shaheed. Really nobody behind Chris Olave in that wide receiver room. I like this pick a lot. He makes a huge difference, takes a lot of that burden off of Chris Olave, allows Darnell Mooney to kind of transit a bit easier, and will absolutely be able to grow with incumbent quarterback Tyler Shough. So I like the move. How do you feel about it, though, partner?
Yeah, I mean it's a great move. Again, with the newer quarterback down there, what better way to set him up than to give him a great wide receiver from Wide Receiver University, Carnell Tate? Um, Again, I think that obviously if the Commanders could have 2 picks in the top 10, it would be for me it would be Caleb Downs and then Carnell Tate. Just given on who's on the board, but those two are the 2 guys I would love to see land in Washington, just because, and I've talked about this before. Um, Terry is going to be 31 years old this year, coming off of an injury, and who better to back him up, be wide receiver 2 until he goes, and then become the wide receiver 1 than a fellow Ohio State alumni, Carnell Tate. But I do love this pick for the New Orleans Saints in this situation. Um, Much like I love the next one. Rueben Bain Jr. going to Miami, or from Miami going to Kansas City, and that's a great pick. Now, a lot of people have Mansour Delane going there, who I think would benefit more in Kansas City, given just by giving who's on this board right now. I just don't see Caleb Downs making it this far, personally. I really don't. especially with him landing, especially him landing uh, in New York. This one actually has New York pretty set up um, in this mock draft here. But yeah, Ruben Bain Jr. going to Kansas City, love it. They're going to need an awesome pass rusher uh, to assist um, freaking the defensive tackle 98. I can't think of his name. Anyhow, um, yeah, I like the pick. What do you think?
I like the pick. I like Ruben Bain Jr. He is my best pass rusher in this NFL draft. I like him a little more than David Bailey. David Bailey fits the Jets a little bit more, so that's why they take him there. Um, but Ruben Bain on that defensive line with George Karlaftis would make a world of difference, and you love to see that. And
Chris Jones was his name. And he's number 95,
Chris
not
Jones,
98.
I was like, Chris Jones is not five, bro.
Yeah.
But it makes a lot of
Yes.
sense. It makes a lot of sense here. I think this is a very perfect world mock draft with the Giants with the next pick taking Caleb Downs. They either get one or the other. They either take Downs at 5 and gamble on 10, or they take someone at 5 and lose out on Caleb Downs. I don't think he makes it far.
No.
Jordan Rannon thinks that though, and hey, these folks are writing for NFL Nation and ESPN, and we're just doing a little podcast.
Great.
They may have more insider than us, but with my ear to the streets, brother, I think Ruben Bain Jr. makes a lot of sense at 9. I don't think Caleb Downs makes it 10 to go to New York Giants if he's not picked on 5.
Right. Absolutely. Um, Spencer Fano, offensive lineman from Utah. He's going at number 11 to the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins. Oh my gosh. Not the
English
Dolphins,
is
man.
hard,
My
brother.
fault. Um,
English is hard.
and that is per Marcel Lewis Jacks. Now, that is, again, another beat writer from Miami, writing for the team to the ESPN. And I'm just some guy. But I like the pick. They have a new quarterback down there. And I'll say it again. What better way to set your quarterback up than a great offensive lineman to keep him protected? Love
Yeah,
this
for
pick.
sure. And Spencer Fano is super versatile.
Yeah.
He can play all across the offensive line. Now, this next pick, I'm not happy with the team, but you know my affinity for this guy. He's my best wide receiver in the draft. He has the best hands, best feet, best ability. He can run all the routes, use his leverage with the best of them. The Dallas Cowboys, according to Todd Archer, at 12, take Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State, and I think I think it makes sense. I do. Again, I hate the team, but that also leaves a lot of questions. C.D. Lamb, George Pickens.
Yeah.
That's a deep wide receiver room, and someone's gonna want touches.
Yeah. Especially with George Pickens being the guy we know him to be. Just going off of his time in Pittsburgh, if he doesn't get touches, he's gonna be upset. And just to contradict that whole thought process, you're getting paid millions of dollars to run around the field. Uh, I would love to do that, but I mean, if you're not getting the ball, it's less chance of you being injured. So I don't know. There's a win-win situation to everything. Uh, there's pros and cons to everything. So, but yeah, Jordan Tyson going here, awesome. I mean, I don't like the team again, but it does make uh, a lot of sense. That is, he will end up being wide receiver 3, and we talked about earlier that his longevity is a problem. Well, they have George Pickens and um, uh, you just
C.D.
said
Lamb.
his name. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb. My brain is gone today. They had CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens in that front too. So if his longevity is in fact an issue, they don't have as much to lose from it as much as another team. But speaking of wide receivers, this next team grabs a wide receiver. The Los Angeles Rams grab Makai Lemon from USC, and they don't. Here's the thing: they don't know how long Matthew Stafford will play, so they're kind of trying to make the most of it. And what better to have a third guy behind Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams than Micaiah Lemon? He did great last season, and partner, what do you think?
I like the pick. I like the pick. It takes a lot of the burden off of Devonte Adams, who is going into his, I want to say, age 35 season. So he's getting wide receiver old. And to maximize his ability on the field, take away some of the eyes that would be on him on the field. Obviously, Puka draws a ton of attention. Makai Lemon would draw attention as well, and that would open up opportunities for everyone. I like the pick. I like the pick a lot. I also like what the Baltimore Ravens will be doing at 14, according to Jamison Henley. And that is Ola Iona, guard out of Penn State. That makes a lot of sense for them to go offensive line, given the offensive linemen that they lost throughout free agency, and protecting Lamar Jackson, as you've said, with the other two offensive linemen picked to this point in the mock draft makes the most sense. He was injured for 4 or 5. I think he was injured for 5 games last season, and you don't want your two-time MVP quarterback to be injured. So protecting him with Olaone makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. And again, I've now said this 3 times now, and I'm going to say it every single time there's an offensive lineman on here. You got to protect the quarterback. What better way to show what the best thing you can do, other than getting Derrick Henry to not fumble, um, is get a guard. Get someone you can trust to protect your quarterback, and maybe talk to Derrick Henry about holding on to the football a little bit better. Um, I actually saw something today. He has been in the league 6 years since 2018, I think it was. Some kind of number. He's been in here for quite a while. He's been in the NFL longer than he's been in high school, and he still has not hit the yards that he had in high school, or the touchdowns that he had in high school. I also seen someone make a joke that his offense or his head coach in high school should be in prison for allowing him to do such things. Just a little
Yes.
tidbit for y'all out there. Um, if you don't know those stats, I don't have them right in front of me, but they are insane for a high school running back. Like it's insane. Um, but he's lucky he didn't play in high school whenever Sean Taylor did, or those stats wouldn't be that either. But moving on, uh, here's a good one. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick Akeem Masidor. Sorry, I'm really bad with names, and I'm really bad about remembering them, but I can picture the people. Um, but the Bucks haven't had an edge rusher with double-digit sacks since Shaquille Barrett in 2021, um, and the general manager Jason Licht says it's he's been very open about being in a position they have not had great success in drafting. So Masador gives them production that they've needed. 12 and a half sacks, 17 and a half tackles for a loss, and four forced fumbles last season. And Todd Bowles indicated he would not have a problem selecting a player who is 25 years old. So he is a bit older for the NFL. Typically, you find guys 21, 22, even 23 years old. However, this guy is a little bit older. Not a lot left in his prime, but he is in his prime currently. So I like the pick. I like the pick. Grab the guy, see what you can do with him. It's kind of a win-win situation in a sense. Either they get him and he works out great, um, and if not, then they don't really lose anything but money. I mean, like it says, they haven't had someone that that has double-digit sacks since Shaquille Barrett in 2021. This has been 5 years, so they will really be back in the same boat. Hopefully, that's not the case with this, but I like it. I like the pick.
I do too. I do too. I think Akeem Masador makes a big difference on that defense, provides much needed pass rush ability that has been very absent, as you alluded to, Shaq Barrett since 2021. So I like the pick. I like the Jets with their second first round pick, taking Omar Cooper Jr. He was one half of number one overall pick Mendoza's security blanket all season en route to the national championship over that Miami team that is producing also a bunch of first round draft picks. So I like this as well. Garrett Wilson, get some of the pressure off of him, take some of the eyes off of Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, and that makes a world of difference. Omar Cooper Jr. can stretch the field too. He is really good at routes. He is really good at separation.
Absolutely, love this pick. Uh, Again, new quarterback, and if this does come to fruition, which I mean it's not entirely likely, but they do take David Bailey at 2, and for a young quarterback, the best you can do for them that's not on the offense is give them a great defense. That way, if they do make mistakes, people throw interceptions. It happens to everyone. Tom Brady threw interceptions. Peyton Manning threw interceptions. Um, Everyone throws interceptions. And the best way to offset an interception is to have a great defense that you can rely on and say, I screwed up, but my defense has me. They're going to go out and fix this.
For sure. For sure.
Um, yeah. So the next one, Detroit Lions, per Eric Woodyard, he says that Monroe Freeling, an offensive tackle out of Georgia, will be the guy for them at 17. It is, I believe, their only pick in the first round, as are most of them, except unless you are the fancy New York Giants or the Jets. Now, again, what better way to pull out your quarterback's best abilities when you can give him extra time in the pocket? Now, the time in the pocket specifically depends on how well you can block. Um, so most pocket time is typically between 6 and 10 seconds. 10 being a long time in the pocket. I mean that feels like forever. Your play should be completely developed by then, and that's I think whenever you have a front line of just straight Hall of Famers. But I think adding him gives him a little bit longer time. I think he's gonna do great.
Yeah, I like Monroe Freeling a lot. Adds a lot to the abysmal second worst pass rush block win rate Detroit Lions last season. Now this next pick, the Minnesota Vikings, I love a lot, especially if Harrison Smith does decide retirement. Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon. Um, I think he is my safety 1A. I've alluded to him being in Washington if Caleb Downs is not available. So I like the pick a lot. It makes a lot of sense, especially if Harrison Smith does decide to hang him up. And if he does not, what better way to spell him in spurts than a guy who can fly around and play like Harrison? Dylan Thieneman.
Absolutely. Harrison Smith is one hard hitting dude. So um, it's gonna be hard to fill those shoes, but I don't think that this guy is gonna have. They're gonna have a hard time finding someone, especially this late in Harrison Smith's career, that can kind of fill in, if you will. Not exactly filled out the same shoes, but you give him a smaller pair of shoes, maybe. Um, but uh, Kenyon Siddick going at number 19 to the Carolina Panthers, I think adds a ton of confidence to the young quarterback Bryce Young. It's another safety blanket, another set of sure hands, and he comes from Oregon. And look, I like Oregon. uh, especially in college football, the game. Look here, they have like 400 different ways to set up their uniforms, and they're kind of cool. So, um, but yeah, absolutely like this choice. And again, another safety blanket, another set of sure hands. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, I like this move a lot. Makes a lot of sense. They haven't had elite tight end play since Greg Olson. So going out and getting a guy like Kenyon Sadiq, hey, he is a dog. He plays football, can block and can catch. According to our good friend Tardodger down there in Dallas, with the pick that they attained from the Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys select Colton Hood, cornerback out of Tennessee. That is not the that's not the Tennessee cornerback that I see going second off. That's not the one. But Colton Hood does fit what Dallas does, and he will play better than Trayvon Diggs did in the past 2 seasons. So I like the pick. Hypothetically, on paper, it's a good pick on paper. I don't like the team.
Right. So apparently, Washington forgot the memo of let's stockpile first round picks because apparently the well, not I really don't have that big of a problem with the Giants, but the Dallas Cowboys are like, let's get 2 picks too. Yeah, screw you too. And the Eagles are in the same boat with us. We're just gonna sit by and not take notes here. Um, I mean, what's that about? Again, it's a decent pick. Don't like the team, but man, why? Uh, I don't like this team either. Going at number 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to grab Casey Conception? Casey Conception? Is that right?
Concepcion.
Concepcion? Conception sounded a little weird. Wide receiver out of Texas A&M. Great number 2 wide receiver behind DK Metcalf. And well, he'll be at number
That
3.
would
Sorry, he would. The number 2 would be Michael Pittman, who is an even better fit, I think, than Casey Concepcion, whatever. Um, but now it'll have a little more depth and a little more for Aaron Rodgers. Um, I think that they're rolling this season. They did a little bit in free agency, not as much as some would have liked, but they still did great.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I like the pick. I like Casey Concepcion. I think he's a very dynamic return man. He is also extremely explosive out of the slot, or if you get him vertical on the outside, that's the perfect complement to guys like K. Metcalf and Michael Pittman. So I like the pick here. Another pick that I absolutely love is my pick for the second best cornerback in this draft. Even though he did not play at all last season, his his physicals, they stand out. His intangibles, they stand out. His performance in 2024, it stands out. Jermod McCoy to the Los Angeles Chargers at 22. I love it. I love this. I think Chris O'Leary would do backflips if he ends up with a guy like Jermod McCoy. Chris O'Leary being defensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Chargers. Uh, it makes sense. It makes sense to me. So I like.
Absolutely, and it makes a lot of sense. Again, the Chargers could benefit a lot. Um, and I said this a little bit ago. What better way to help your team, your offense, than adding a great defense? And I think Jermon McCoy does that. The only question is his longevity. Hopefully, the ACL tear doesn't affect him at all in his pro time. Hopefully, it's up and up from there. But it doesn't make as much sense as this next pick. And again, hate the team, but Denzel Boston going to the Philadelphia Eagles at number 23 per Tim McManus. Now, obviously, a lot of trade rumors surrounding AJ Brown, and the Eagles are likely to move on. They have signed Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore to 1-year deals, and then traded for Dontavion Wicks with from the Green Bay Packers, which we talked about as well. Which I mean, if this is the case, the only guy left is Devonte Smith, and you know, as far as like playmakers, I guess you would say, I like Hollywood Brown, I really do. He's fast, and he I thought he did pretty decent on the Ravens, but not good enough to be a number one guy. So I definitely think he adds a good complement. That he will definitely pull some attention from uh, defensive coordinators. So, but Denzel Boston adding him, I think, is going to be a great choice. Again, I think this and you think this. AJ Brown will probably leave this offseason. If not during the draft on Thursday, then at some other point.
Yeah, for sure. And Denzel Boston makes sense in this wide receiver room, even over guys like Elijah Moore and Hollywood Brown, because he is just as versatile, younger, and in my opinion, has more startability. Um, I liked him at his time in Pacific Northwest in Washington. I, it's a good pick to me. Again, not happy that it would be the Eagles, but it's a good pick. And this next pick is also a good pick. Another safety that I'm extremely high on for the Cleveland Browns via the Jaguars. Um, Manuel McNeil Warren. Usually, you don't see guys come out of colleges like Toledo this high, but that speaks to the level of play that he put on the field in Emmanuel McNeil Warren. And with him being a local guy, that's a very short move to go down the road and play your football in Cleveland. So this makes sense in a lot of ways for me. They shore up offensive line, they shore up defensive backfield. The Browns are in a good spot after this pick at 24, and I'm really high on the pick. How do you feel about it?
Here's my thing. Now, I would love to see the Cleveland Browns go with a wide receiver. However, they are a little far and few between in the um, in the late first round anyway. So the next best guy I think is Emmanuel McNeil Warren, and I like it. Again, young quarterbacks, the best thing you can do for him is give him a great defense, and you already have Miles Garrett on that front seven, so I like this choice. However, Caden Proctor going to the Bears at offensive tackle is a greater choice just because of now the Chicago had the best pass blocking unit last season, one of at least, and but there's a lot of uncertainty because of Ozzy Trapillo's knee injury, and again they have a young quarterback there, and the best way to and they've already figured this out, give him more time in that pocket. Let him sit there and let the play develop a little bit, not have to be scrambling around. Now, a rush, um, great defensive rusher is gonna make his time a little bit less, no matter no matter who you got on that front seven. It still wrecks their planning there, but I think adding Caden Proctor in just in case Ozzy can't get back is a great choice.
Yeah, for sure. Caden Proctor is definitely a star choice, and if you see him this late in the first round, I would be genuinely surprised just based on need at tackle for so many teams. Um, and their suggestion that you would Caden Proctor inside once Ozzy Trapilo is healed up. I like him outside. Is he versatile? Yes, I like him outside though. I feel like Ozzy has the knowledge and mental fortitude to make that jump. If you are into studying the psychology side of sports, do I think Caden Proctor can do it? Yeah, absolutely. He's plenty physical enough. He has great footwork. His hands are incredible. So this pick makes sense in a lot of ways, with or without Ozzy Philo on the roster.
Absolutely.
But another pick that makes a ton of sense is Cassius Howell. out of Texas A&M to the Buffalo Bills at 26, and this to me makes a world of difference with Jim Leonard running that defense. You replace Joey Bosa, who is, I believe, still out on the free agency market, and you get younger and more dynamic in the process. Uh, Crazy speed, 14.5 miles per hour at full bend at the edge position. That's it's insane. It really is. I like this. It's very similar to the way that Will Anderson Jr. plays football down there in Houston. It's explosive. It's explosive and it's gnarly.
Absolutely. And Will Anderson Jr. is one of my favorite edge rushers. Um, but I think that this is a great pick for the Buffalo Bills. Again, Joey Bosa not lining up with the Bills anymore. Again, a lot of um, dependability issues going on there. But and his productivity has kind of slouched a little bit, and he is getting up there in age. So what better way to grab a guy like Cassius Howell and kind of assist them on that defense? However, here is the one pick that I kind of disagree with because I don't think this will be the pick. I think some things will change. I think that the San Francisco 49ers are probably going to trade down. I don't think that they're going to be here at 27. I think they will trade down. But in the event that the San Francisco 49ers are here, I think that Caleb Lemieux will be great. Again, got to protect the quarterback at all times. And Mr. Irrelevant is going to need all the help he can get. He did have to scramble around some last season, and we don't want that. I mean, his experience on the left side would just make him a logical heir to Trent Williams, who signed a 2-year extension this week. Of course, whenever he's ready to retire. But Trent Williams, also one of the guys who used to sport the burgundy and gold for quite a while. So
Yeah, yeah. To me, the only pick, if they did decide to stay and pick here, would be Cassius Howell if he was available, or Caleb Loman.
yeah,
I'm with you in the trade down scenario. If all of the safeties and receivers are gone to this point in the first round, they probably try to trade down and acquire more draft capital. It, I like the idea, especially with Trent Williams at 37 years old. I like the idea of looking for his replacement. Uh, and Caleb Lowe moved capable of that. And big, talented, physical guy. Reminds you a lot of Trent Williams playing the left tackle. So, if they decide to stay and pick, I like this pick. And I like this next pick as well. Guys, I have a lot of love and respect for Ohio State. Caden McDonald off of that defensive line at defensive tackle to the Houston Texans, according to DJ being Ames. I, to me, it makes a lot of sense. They lost Tim Settle Jr. He came back home to the Burgundy and Gold to play in Washington. They need some youth on the interior of that defensive line. And Caden McDonald is a proven guy. He is stout. Um, I like it because they can go light box. They didn't play a lot of too high safeties, fear of no pressure in the middle of the defense. This helps them do that. Caden McDonald, big bodied guy, can get to the quarterback and also eat up run. So I like the pick.
absolutely, and I do too. I think that he's going to add a wonderful addition to Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. They have the outside edges locked down, and I think he's going to be great for the interior. Heck of a run stuffer. A great pick. I mean, he could honestly could have went a couple of picks earlier, but like the pick here. Also, the Kansas City Chiefs getting another pick in the NFL draft in the NFL first round. Um, I'm saying I think it's Sarah Taylor, maybe is her name. I don't know. Taylor is the name on here per Taylor, and which just sounds like a girl. I don't know. Peter Woods is the pick there, and out of defensive tackle out of Clemson, which again is just adding more onto that defense. Chris Jones and Omar Norman Lott. That he's going to be depth behind those two. He's an intriguing prospect who should be more than capable of contributing to a rotational role. Partner. The Kansas City Chiefs getting their second pick in the first round feels a little unfair, but nevertheless.
I mean, it's unfair to a lot of teams, but it is also extremely fair in the fact that they lost half of their starting defense, a literal half of it gone in free agency. So they need to stockpile some picks. They need to get some guys back on that side of the ball, and this makes a lot of sense to me. I think Peter Woods is a great rotational piece. I think post college football season, he has lost a lot of steam. A lot of people at the midpoint of college football season had him in the top 10 or 15. So to see him still in the first round, I think it's correct. He adds a lot of rotational depth. He also has the capability to take over Chris Jones once Chris Jones decides to hang them up. So I like this pick. I also like what the Dolphins do at 30 with Keldrick Falk. To me, this is an underrated pick. I think he was slated to go as high as 5 in some early mock drafts. Obviously, some things have fallen off here, but he is big. He's 6'6", 275. He can bend the edge, and he can get to the quarterback. It's still a developing game, though. He is not full force just yet, but to see young guys like him and Chop Robinson in that Dolphins world of difference for the Dolphins, especially they're in the middle of a rebuild, to call it exactly what it is. And I like this pick a lot.
Absolutely. I do as well. Um, Great choice for them. Again, another team getting in there with a second pick in the first round. So maybe,
Yes.
yeah, they're 11. Okay, sorry, I have a horrible memory. But I do like this. Kendrick Falk is a perfect choice, like you said, adding addition with Chop Robinson on the edge. I mean, just they're building a wrecking crew down there in Miami, and what better choice for this next pick with the Dolphins doing what they're doing than New England to grab someone on the other side of the ball? Offensive tackle Blake Miller out of Clemson. And partner, they already have Will Campbell and also picked up 35-year-old Morgan Moses. And I mean, immediately would add some depth and some protection on that line. Um, and he's falling in the first round, so that tells me that he is going to be a great fit. And he comes from Clemson, so Clemson is one of the top-rated schools. So I have no doubt that this guy is going to be able to protect that young quarterback as well. So especially since they just got off their Super Bowl run, and again, just protection. And I think that during that Super Bowl, I think that he could have used some extra time in that backfield. However, that Seattle defense was insane. So
Yes. Yes, it was. I like the pick. I like Blake Miller a lot as the future replacement of Morgan Moses. Like, he's 35, big bodied like Mo. Fun fact: Morgan Moses actually started his career in Washington. For those of you who didn't no, now you know. Let your boy put you on. But I like him. I like him a lot. He started 54 games at Clemson. Uh, he's very durable. A lot of scouts see him as durable. He does have a very pro mindset. If you listen to his interviews throughout the draft process, he's very pro focused. But with the last pick, 32nd pick in the first round of the NFL draft, according to Seattle's Brady Henderson, they take Chris Johnson, cornerback out of San Diego State. That would be huge. That would be a great replacement for Tariq Woolen. However, they only have 4 picks in this year's draft, so it would not surprise me if they trade back. They trade back a couple selections, recoup some draft capital. That would make a world of sense to me. But I like the pick of Chris Johnson here. He is a very capable starter. He would come right in and make a difference. I think John Schneider would see that. Uh, and I feel like he has him pretty close to the top of his draft board, given the talent that's going to come off the board in the first round.
Absolutely. And again, I think if they do in fact stay here, it's going to be a great choice because I mean they just lost Reek Woolen, as you said. Um, I don't know. I think that I think that he'll be a great. I think they're going to have to go with cornerback here. Um, no matter if they trade up, trade down, trade sideways, it doesn't really matter. I think that they're going to have to go with cornerback. Reek Woolen was a key piece in that cornerback room, but I think that somewhere along the line they're going to get someone that can take over the reins for him. Um, but partner, that does it. And some surprises, some new information with the Giants getting an extra pick, which we just love, don't we? Um,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
and not only them getting an extra pick, but a top 10 pick at that. So, partner, do you want to take us out of here?
Yes. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. We love getting to bring some football talk to you. Uh, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments on YouTube or your social media platforms. Let us know what your top 32 look like, especially with the recent trades that are going on. Um, I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. What about you, partner? You got any departing words before I get us out of here?
Absolutely, absolutely. Big thank you to our sponsor, Aspire Energy. Big thank you. Partner, thank you for being here. As always, love talking football. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a great day to be a football fan, as always. It's always a great day to be a football fan, especially on Tuesdays and Saturdays where you get to listen to me and Scotty talk about football. Again, just wanted to say a quick sorry for not being able to record anything on Saturday. Had a lot going on. Don't want to dive too much in detail, but there was some issues and some things going on there. Again, apologize for that. I was gonna make a post about it, just a quick sorry on social medias, but I felt it better to just give you guys an apology here on the show, and yeah. But again, Thursday we'll be doing a live stream, YouTube and Kick for the NFL draft. We'll be giving you our reactions to the draft as it comes in. Um, yeah, partner. Again, thank you. Um, I mean, obviously, I would choose no other person to do this with. Only you, my friend. Only you.
Yes, sir, partner. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, guys, the listeners. Thank you to Aspire Energy for continuing to believe in us. Don't forget to get your case. AspireDrinks.com /discount /OTB25 helps keep us in business here on this channel with this podcast. Um, Thank you, partner. And again, nobody better to be sitting in the seat opposite than having you. The debates are fantastic. As you like to say, it's a great day to be a football fan. Every day is a great day to be a football fan. But we are out of here for the night, folks. We will see you on Thursday for draft night. And until then, That is Corey. I am Scotty. Thank you guys so